I am the axe. The axe is me. Me and the axe are one together. Get that out of there.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. We got a fun one for you today. What we're going to be making is an axe throwing target, and in order to make this axe throwing target, we're going to be using 3 2x10s, 3 2x4s, and 2 2x6s, and a sheet of OSB. Let's get into making this thing. Alright, so as you can see, we now have all of our pieces cut. I cut all the 2x10s in half, so we have 6 pieces. And then this top piece here got trimmed to 46 inches because that's the total width of the boards. And then we are going to also account for the length, which comes to 57¼ inch. So now we're going to make those cuts on this OSB plyboard because this is our backing that we're going to secure these all to. So I'm going to go cut this OSB. Alright, so as you can see, we have our boards 5 across with our one on top laid out. Our OSB is now cut and laid out on top of it. So what we are going to do is secure this OSB board to the backs of these boards with some wood screws. So let's do it. Alright, so as you can see, we have the board on the ground now. We have our 2x6s with no cuts. They're at their 8-foot length still, laying on the floor, and we're going to secure those into the sides of our boards with some lag screws, and we're going to be using these lag screws right here. They're 3/8 inch diameter and 3 inches long. So before we do that though, we're going to find our center, which will be 46 inches across, so 23, and then the vertical is 48, so 24. So at 23 inches in and 24 inches up is our center, and we're going to mark that first, and then we'll secure everything into place. Now have our 2x6s attached. And we flip this on its side because we are now going to cut some of the base, and we're going to use one 2x4 and cut it directly in half to begin this process. So let's do that. Put one on there. We just use 2 lag screws and just drill those bad boys right in there. For this design from Artfully Rogue, this distance from the edge of the 2x6 to the edge of the 2x4 came out to 21¼ inch on both sides, so that's how we know we are in the center of that 2x4. And now I have the difficult task of flipping this onto its other side and to do this again on the other side, but I'll figure that out and we will get this part of the process done. We took one of our 2x4s and we cut them in half. As you can see, we have 2 separate pieces now for this part of the stand. So what I did after I cut the 2x4 in half, I took a random end and cut it at a 45. I then took my 45 angle, measured it out to here on my first 2x4 brace, and I had the whole thing go across until I hit the center of the 2x6, and I then drew a line, and I cut the 45° angle at this end to get this piece. So what I did next is with my other half of my 2x4, I lined up my 45s on each piece, and I then cut the angle on that other 2x4 scrap, and with that I was able to then get my second piece. So here we are all mocked up, and all I'm going to use is some decking screws to secure this all together. And as you can see, that was the process for getting this extra support on the outside, and you can see I just used 2x4s to balance everything since the 2x6 is underneath, preventing it from being level with the ground. But that's that process. I hope the time lapse helps my explanation make a little more sense. So now I'm going to secure these into place. Alright, so we are now all assembled up. The next thing I did, which is me adding my own little twist to everything, is I cut 4 blocks at 4¾ inch wide. And I did that because I'm going to secure these to the outer side of each of the posts. So over here, over here, and back there. And that's so when I attach the casters that I'm going to be attaching, there will be enough material to go into. And we can use some heavy duty screws for that as well to make sure everything's nice and secure. So let's do that. Alright guys, so what I did is I went and did a little more design changes than what Artfully Rogue did in their build. I went and bought more 2x6 and I put it right there at the bottom. Dad, say what up. What up? So I put the 2x6 at the bottom of our actual board, as well as the top of the 2x4s at the bottom. So we just put a lot of extra strength into this to make sure that it will never break. I also have to draw the target, so I will do that too. Finished drawing our circles. The first circle diameter is 7 inches, the second circle diameter is 17 inches, and the third circle diameter is 27 inches. My dad is right here, and what we did is we simply put a screw in the dead center of our bullseye, and we just adjusted our string on our pen to make the markings of each circle so that we would have as close to a perfect diameter as possible. And now what I'm gonna do for this finish to kind of make it cool is I'm gonna be burning it. And as you can see, the Shoshugiban is done. We did it on our center and our outer circle, and this project is pretty much done. It's a very simple, straightforward project. Took me about 3.5 hours to do. So if this is something you're curious about trying, I definitely recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave a like down below. Comment, did you do this project? How did it go? Did you have fun throwing axes? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications. Again, I appreciate everybody that watches these videos. It means a lot to me. A lot of effort and time and money goes into these, so all the support is always welcome. And yeah, don't forget to have a great day or night. Don't forget to keep God number one. God bless.